Welcome back, everybody. Peace and love to you all. Today we're going to be talking about Nibiru and this second sun phenomenon. One of the first things I'm going to be doing today is breaking down the whole Planet X Nibiru origins. Many of you have heard of Planet X or Nibiru. It have been spoken of in religious texts. One thing we want to point out is that it has never been proven, and its origins come from a lady by the name of Nancy Leader, and we're going to be discussing her before we move into the reason why we see two suns. Now, the reason why we see two suns has something to do with refraction and reflection, in my opinion, and I'm going to be demonstrating that today. But first, we're going to start off with history of the whole Planet X collision myth. So understand that the elites capitalize off a phenomenon in our reality that we've been deceived about. So, for example, like this situation where sometimes we see two suns, which has something to do with refraction and reflection, but you would have someone like Nancy Leader who would come along with an idea to capitalize off that phenomenon. So the result of that capitalization on her behalf ended up being the planet Nibiru collision theory that we've all become familiar with today. And I'm going to be getting deep into that. But understand the reason why they do this type of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about money. We've already been deceived. You got to keep that in mind. So with a theory like Planet X collision, the byproduct is fear and merchandise based upon that fear. Movies in Hollywood, it makes for a good script. And you got to understand, we're talking millions of dollars, and not to mention that this theory also supports evolution and the idea that we come from aliens, and even the idea that the earth can be done away with by a chaotic mishap. All of these type theories supports ideas that suggest that there is no intelligent creator in control, as if these heavenly bodies have minds of their own. And it's easy to fall for that type of deception when you don't understand the nature of your reality. And I'm going to be going deep into this and showing you what we're seeing when we see the two suns. But now let's get into Nancy Leader and explain exactly what she did. Now, when you go and do your research on Nancy Leader, you will see that she invented what's called the Nibiru Cataclysm, which is the foundation of all our Planet X Nibiru talks today in the conscious community. And this is very, very important, people, because this is also the foundation of the entire quote-unquote black conscious community, because there's so many of our brothers and sisters who believe that they are from Orion or different solar systems out in outer space. And now, to get off subject, I will be doing a video called Outer Space is a Hoax, and I'll be explaining why. I've already touched on it in previous videos. But back to this Nibiru Cataclysm. When you research Nancy Leader, what you'll find out is she invented this whole thing, people, and she has gotten so rich off of it. And now I'm going to read to you exactly what the Nibiru Cataclysm is and give you the history of it. So if you go on Wikipedia and look this thing up, what you'll find is that the Nibiru Cataclysm is a supposed disastrous encounter between the Earth and a large planetary object, either a collision or a near miss, which certain groups believe will take place in the early 21st century. Believers in this doomsday event usually refer to this object as Planet X or Nibiru. The idea that a planet-sized object will collide with or closely pass by Earth in the near future is not supported by any scientific evidence and has been rejected as pseudoscience and an internet hoax by astronomers and planetary scientists. Y'all, please understand what I just read to you, people. This is very, very important, and it actually makes the hairs on my skin stand up. People, we have been deceived. Do you know how many millions of people believe in Planet X? Do you understand what I'm reading to you here? Okay, this is a hoax. Our government rejected this as pseudoscience and an internet hoax. And you're going to see why I agree with this as I explain to you the reason why we actually see the two suns later. Let's continue on with this now. The idea was first put forward in 1995 by Nancy Leader, founder of the website Zeta Talk. Leader describes herself as a contactee with the ability to receive messages from extraterrestrials from Zeta Reticuli star system through an implant in her brain. Now, people, I'm going to stop for a minute and go over that. Think about that. If you believe in Planet X, if you believe in Nibiru, this is the foundation of that belief, okay? Some woman who says she's a contactee with some aliens from some Zeta Reticuli star system. And people, if you're looking at the picture in front of you now, this is V838 monocreators. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But what I want to point out about the picture is look at it, people. It's a painting. It's a painting. This is the foundation, people, just like the foundation of all of these religions are paintings. People, we got to start getting back to facts and dealing with reality as humanity if we want to move forward. Now, this whole Nibiru thing was started by this lady. All of these people going around saying they was abducted. And, you know, I contacted these extraterrestrials. I never met no little green man in my life, y'all. I never seen an alien in my life. Why should I believe anybody's account of their experience? Especially when we in a world full of liars, people. Why would we go into these beliefs and accept the idea that there's a planet that's gonna collide with Earth real soon? Now, they said this thing was gonna happen in 2012 and it never happened, but y'all still waiting on it. This is what keeps the merchandise still selling. As long as you can keep on anticipating on it, we can keep making movies on it. We can keep on making ideologies and cults around this belief that this woman who contacted extraterrestrials from this bogus Zeta Reticuli star system that you looking at, another illustration by NASA, a bunch of baloney. Come on, people, we got to wake up and see the truth. I'm going so hard on this stuff because it's keeping us blind and it's hiding humanity's true origin, all right? Keeping us divided with all of these dumb ideologies. Now, let's move on and let's read some more of this baloney. Now, this woman states that she was chosen to warn mankind that the object would sweep through the inner solar system in May 2003. People, today it's 2016 and it hasn't happened yet. How many of these psychopaths have we seen come out in public with all of these foolish claims like they got contacted and all of these Jim Jones type people? There was another guy who said the earth was going to end and it never happened. All of this stuff is blasphemous against the creator who promised us that this creation would stand the test of time, brothers and sisters. Now, who are we going to trust? The creator or these people with these foolish claims? Come on now, none of this stuff ever came true. The woman said it was going to happen in 2003. That was a lie. It's 2016 today. Brother Sanchez ain't going to play with this foolishness no more. Now let's continue on with some more baloney. She states she was chosen to warn mankind that the object would sweep through the solar system in 03. She said that Earth would undergo a physical pole shift that would destroy most of humanity. Now, most of the people in the conscious community system phenomenon that this woman claimed never happened in 03, people still foolishly holding on to the idea. So what you will hear today from a lot of consciousness people is that, well, the pole shift already happened spiritually. But they get the idea from this woman who didn't say anything about it happening spiritually. This woman who created this entire claim said that it would be a physical pole shift that would destroy most of humanity. She was clear to say physically. And this was supposed to happen in 03, and conscious people still running around today in 2016 talking about Nibiru is going to hit Earth and that the pole shift happened spiritually. This is how much we want to hold on to baloney. But Sanchez going to fry that baloney. Oh yeah, we going to fry that baloney today. Let's get on with some more of it. The prediction had subsequently spread beyond leaders' website and has been embraced by numerous internet doomsday groups. I'm going to read that part again because this part is going to determine whether or not if you may be in one of those groups. Listen, the prediction had subsequently spread beyond leaders' website and has been embraced by numerous internet doomsday groups. Now, let me make a claim right now before we move on. I was one of those people, y'all, out of my stupidity. Well, I'm not going to say stupidity. I'm going to say ignorance. I believe in this Planet X thing and all of this stuff on my quest for knowledge. Now, what would trap you in this type of foolishness is if you stop questioning. And once you get caught up into these little doomsday groups on the internet, it's hard to get out of them because you become addicted to the fear. You become addicted to the entertainment of it. It becomes like a scary movie. And if you didn't know, the horror section is a big seller, and that says a lot about humanity today, that we spend billions to be scared, people. Your government know that, and it's being used against you in your very belief system. Brother Sanchez is here to give humanity back to Mother Nature so she can embrace us and we can move on with our proper evolution. Now, before we do that, we got to move on with some more of this baloney. So the Nibiru Cataclysm has frequently reappeared. So as I said, this foolish idea has been embraced today and is so popular, and I really need you, my brothers and sisters, to do what you can to go out and tell everybody that this thing is not real, y'all, because it's keeping people trapped in fear. Can you imagine somebody believing all of this foolishness for the rest of their life? It really sucks. Help me out, people. All right, do the research for yourself. All of these links in the description box. You can share this video with them. All right, research this stuff on your own. You'll see Brother Sanchez not lying to you. Now check this out. This thing is embraced by numerous internet doomsday groups, most of which link the event to the 2012 phenomenon. Since 2012, the Nibiru Cataclysm has frequently reappeared in the popular media. And now, why would they keep making it reappear in the popular media if Brother Sanchez sitting here clearly proving to you that it's a bunch of baloney? Why would they want a bunch of baloney to frequently reappear in the media? As I said, we love fear today. They got us addicted to fear. So this type of stuff appear in the media, then a movie come out like Gravity. Then a movie come out like The Force Strike Back and all of this stuff to promote outer space, which is deception. I keep telling y'all, the whole idea of space is blasphemy. There's no such thing as emptiness. There's no place you can go in this cosmos that's void of the awesome creator's power. There's no empty space. So now let's move on. Now this thing is usually linked to news-making astronomical objects such as Comet Ison or Planet 9. So like I said, once you get one lie going and accept it to the public, now you can get sub-lies or sub-branches and subcultures going based upon that lie. So for example, let's say that Aleister Crowley started a cult. Now you can get a bunch of more cults based on his original cult and twist the theses a little bit, and you get all of these little different other cults, sort of like the gang members today. It was only one Crip gang, but now you got hundreds of sects, just like the Bloods and everything like that. So the same thing with this. This woman was the originator of this crap, and now everybody going around creating and capitalizing off it, people. All right, understand Brother Sanchez's passion. They pulling our strings, inducing fear into our spirits, and we paying for it. We paying for it. Let's move on with some more. Although the name Nibiru is derived from the works of the ancient astronaut writer Zechariah Sitchin and his interpretations of Babylonian and Sumerian mythology, he denied any connection between his work and various claims of a coming apocalypse. Think about that. The planet itself that they are calling Nibiru was named after this astronaut Zechariah Sitchin, and he denied any connection between his work and various claims of this coming apocalypse. So the man who they named this planet after, people don't even believe the crap. I said the man who they named this bogus planet after don't even believe none of this crap that we believe, y'all. We've been bamboozled, y'all, and we got to wake up and free our minds. Now let's move on with this. Now keep in mind that this man said he based this off interpretations of Babylonian and Sumerian mythology. Now, I do a lot of ancient cosmology on this channel, and that's a very important fact that we just read, because in these ancient cosmologies lies the true nature of our reality or our cosmological makeup. I'm not going to get into that in this video. That's all I do on this channel, so explore the channel. Back to this Nibiru crap. So we're going to summarize this Wikipedia passage before we move on. What did we get out of this, brothers and sisters? We got that this whole doomsday event is just a hoax, y'all. It's been rejected as pseudoscience and an internet hoax. And the killing part about it, y'all, is that the pole shift was supposedly happening in 03 and it never happened, just like all of the other bogus hoaxes about doomsday events. And all of these things create numerous internet doomsday groups. And it's easy to fall victim of one of these groups and not even know it, because most of us today learn simply from YouTube videos. And listen, y'all, I'm not coming down on you. I started off doing the same same thing. I thought I was researching, but I found out that there's levels of research that most of us will never get to in our lifetime. So part of what I'm going to be doing in the future on this channel is actually teaching you how to learn, how to get online and get all of this deep knowledge and what to look for when you're going about reaching all of these conclusions. So what I'm showing you here is undeniable. This whole Planet X thing is a deception, and I described to you in the previous video how it's also an attack on a divine feminine. Please explore the channel, people. Again, Babylonian and Sumerian mythology or cosmology has all the secrets to our true cosmological makeup. So basically what we get out of this passage is that is all a hoax. Don't fall victim to this deception. And if you look at this picture again, like I said, it's just another NASA illustration. So we ain't gonna fall for this deception, and we're gonna move on. See, people, what you got to understand is that this whole thing is based around sometimes we see two suns in the sky, or what appears to be two suns. I'm gonna show you exactly why that happens before we close this out. But we got to get into this Planet X thing because this is really deep. Now let's get some more facts on this thing about this Zeta Reticuli species and this woman being contacted by aliens, because it had me bamboozled, and most of the internet believe in Planet X. And I'm proving to the world right now on this channel right now that it's all a hoax. All you got to do is go to Google and put in Nibiru Cataclysm and research this thing. Visit the description links. Now we're going to move on here. Now what I'm about to point out to you about Miss Nancy Leader now is very deep. She was quoted as saying Hitler wasn't truly evil. He was a manipulated spiritual child, and he is still being counseled. This is very important, people, because not too long ago, I actually did a video on this channel saying this exact same thing because I didn't know any better. I believe this, people, not too long ago. All right. Now, what I'm going to say about Hitler real quick before we move on is that you guys can go back and watch that video. It's on the channel. I won't delete anything because I want you to see this whole process so you guys can put the pieces together to see how I become to reach all of my current conclusions, because I'm constantly growing and researching, y'all. That's the way this process works. Anybody giving it to you any other way, they're not researching it. It's based on a belief that's stagnant in one spot. Knowledge is a quest. It's not a stop. But what I'm saying here is that this woman said that Hitler wasn't truly evil. He was manipulated spiritually. Now, the people who often accept this Planet X ideology, this actually comes along with it. Now, a lot of people who accept this ideology aren't aware of that. But I bet you right now they can agree with me that if you ever accepted this ideology, one of your other beliefs was that Hitler wasn't evil. He was under MK Ultra or something like that. Well, where do I stand on that today? I don't know. Okay, I do believe in MK Ultra, and I do believe it's some truth to that, but I don't know. And it gets deep to find out that that whole idea was linked to this woman who created this Planet X deception. All right, y'all, we got to re-question all of these ideas we've been given in the conscious community. I'm going to be basically debunking all of these ideas that we've been given in the conscious community, and I'm gonna be doing it because, people, the truth is the only thing that can set us free. It's time that we get the truth, people. I only do it for that reason. Put the ego to the side and let's accept the truth, y'all. It's all about the truth, people. So understand that this woman was a Hitler lover. I was deceived by this ideology, and this thing was attached to the whole Planet X thing, y'all. Now, this is what a real psyop is, and I'm showing you proof that we've been bamboozled. What's the purpose of all of this, people? They want us constantly in fear. You got to free your mind. You got to unplug and lose your fear. All of this stuff that they said gonna happen, it never happens. It never happens, people. They spend billions of dollars just to make you think it's gonna happen. But people, it's only so far they can go. And after that, they can only fool you in your mind that they can do more. And if you accept the belief, you will live your whole life in fear, people. It's all about fear. The whole industry, the whole economy is driven off fear, people. This same woman supported Hitler, and these people go around seeding doomsday events to keep the media's fear propaganda machine fully operational and going. Now we're gonna move on some more here. Everybody in the conscious community love to sound deep. I was a victim of that, okay? Well, we're from a star system called Sirius, and there are beings out beyond Pleiades and Zeta Reticuli, and the only proof we have for all of these places that's in so-called outer space is bogus NASA illustrations. And it finds out that they make a lot of movies in Hollywood off of this bogus crap. We flop to the theater, we believe in the crap, and it never happens. It's doomsday events that sell out in the theater, but they never happen, y'all. And we still cling on to them. We build whole conscious communities off these crazy people talking about they contacted aliens. Now, what I'm finna tell you about this lady here, Nancy Leader, she created this whole Zeta Reticuli Planet X crap, y'all. None of us never saw this stuff. Why do we believe it, y'all? Don't accept nothing till you can prove it for yourself, okay? Think of Jonestown and Jim Jones and all of that, all right? Now, let me read this thing here from Rational Wiki. Zeta Talk is an apocalyptic alien contactee cult, y'all. This thing has been deemed a cult by the government. So you can be, like I told you, you can be part of a cult and not even know it when you get out here on this internet now. Brother Sanchez is telling you every video, research everything I'm saying, all right? Anybody that got you in a cult, the foundation of it gonna be on this fear-mongering type crap that I'm reading to you now that you can't prove, y'all. All I'm trying to do is free your mind. Now let's read some more. This cult started in the mid-1990s by free-range nut bar Nancy Leader. Nancy claims to be in telepathic communication with gray aliens from Zeta Reticuli. Y'all, these gray aliens may or may not exist, okay? I'm not debunking the gray aliens here. That's the whole point of this video, is to get us to stop focusing on this type stuff. Let's focus on the facts, and let's hold the government accountable for the facts, okay? Because the fact is that we base this whole system of space, this bogus space program, and this $18 billion that we're spending every year around these nutcases who are planted in society by the government. We accept it. We don't know where these ideas come from because we do no research, and we end up being victims of cults. Now, this same woman who seeded this Planet X Zeta Reticuli gray alien deception is a friend of David Icke. I didn't want to get into actually calling people out and doing that type of stuff. I'm tired of the deception, and I hate to do it, but that's probably what it's going to come down to, all right? Now, all of these people are fear-mongers. I really don't have to do videos because you should know that, yes, he goes in the same bracket as Neil deGrasse Tyson and your other agents, part of this club that's supposedly in the conscious community but seeding these government ideas. So these ideas cannot benefit humanity. They keep us in fear. They keep us divided. And also, this ties into the Dogon tribe and also the Orion connection. You need to be checking out the videos I've done on that. Now, as we can see, David Icke, Nancy Leader, Planet X, and all of this second son crap is questionable. It's clearly bogus. And they also created the lizard man mythos. Now, this lizard man mythos ties into the whole Anunnaki reptilian about your government being shapeshifters and all of this stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, I once believed that. I no longer believe it. And why I don't believe it is because I want to prove it to be true before I just openly believe something. I have no reason to believe it. It hasn't been proven to me. I will go on a journey into researching the reptilian thing, but as of now, I don't believe it, but I will go into researching it. I'm not saying it's true or not true. I will say that it doesn't help humanity to believe that the people in power are reptilians. What it does is it hides the true enemy. If we say that reptilians are responsible for world domination, then we hide the fact that it's evil human beings in power that's keeping humanity divided, planting all of this deception in society. So once we give a spooky monster this role, it hides the real monster, people, and that's the reason of all of this deception, not to mention all of the monetary assets that come along with it. They are mind screwing us, people. Okay, now we got to question this whole reptilian thing because it actually gives the government power. You got people saying that these celebrities are reptilians. Then when these celebrities act out in public and do stuff we don't like, they can get away with it because people say, well, hey, it wasn't really Beyonce. That's a lizard man inside of her body. So Beyonce get a pass, or, you know, such and such get a pass, or, you know, LeBron James get a pass even though he did a certain thing. I'm just using these people for an example. I'm not actually coming down on them or nothing. I'm just saying we give these celebrities a pass because we accept these foolish ideas of lizard men. We got to look more into that. Now, there's some truth to all of these ideas, but we can't give the power to the elite. If we say that they are lizard men, we actually empower them, people. If I can turn into a lizard man right now, that actually gives me power that you can't do. That means I got a magic power that you don't have. So we empower the elite when we make them reptilians, y'all. We got to question that in the conscious community and start doing more research on that. Because like I said, celebrities get away with murder because we blame it on the lizard inside of them as opposed to the actual person. But soon as a regular person do something wrong, they behind go to jail, okay? If I go out there and commit a crime, they ain't gonna arrest the lizard man inside of me. They gonna arrest Brother Sanchez. So let's move on and debunk some more of this baloney. I can actually get into all of those talks in the conscious community about Maldek and the asteroid belt, Maldek and Tiamat and all of these planets. Stay tuned, y'all. I got so many videos coming about terra firma and ancient depictions of Earth. I'm gonna be showing y'all ancient illustrations of the Earth throughout different cultures and doing different videos on each, showing y'all where they get all of this crap from that they giving us in these movies, and they turn around and flip the ancient truth and turn it into Hollywood lies. So what I'm gonna be doing on this channel is going against your government because I'm tired of us being deceived, being sheeple. Now check this out, y'all. Think about all of this talk about Tiamat and all of this stuff about the asteroid belt. We have no proof of this stuff. Outer space is an illusion. It's a deception. The Earth was created by the hands of the Most High and not chaotic collisions. So again, when you accept this stuff, you empower the elite by making them lizard men, and you also blaspheme the Most High and the creation by accepting the idea that humanity was created by lizard people and that the Earth can also be destroyed. I don't care about what religion you is. I don't care what race you is. The only thing I want to let you know is that everybody religion say that the Most High created a creation that will stand the test of time, that will never be destroyed. If you think about it, later in all of our religions, the interpretations of these texts later became to be these doomsday ideologies. So keep that term in mind, doomsday ideologies. Now this comes along with heliocentrism, people. The creation of the globe model was the creation of these doomsday scenarios. When you look at the ancient flat earth planetarium cosmology, it leaves no room for a doomsday event. If you look at the design, it's so serene. It's a perfect design. Nowhere in the design can there be room for a collision. It's perfect. So when heliocentric ideas came along, balled the earth up in our minds and created these solar systems that don't exist, it put the earth in a void of darkness. Now that goes back to the bottomless pit, because in your mind, if the earth is moving through space, you are in the bottomless pit. So you are in hell. Hell is a state of mind. So think about it. When you say heliocentrism, the root word is hell. Now a lot of people say, no, it ain't, Brother Sanchez. Helios means sun. Sun, Helios, and hell all go together, people. The sun worship is hell. Ra is Kemet, okay? When you embrace Ra and worship Ra, you are in hell, because the true ancient cosmology starts with Mother Earth. It starts with the mother goddess. It starts with Mama Nuwa, okay? Ra came along later when the patriarchy took over. So you're still not back in the pre-dynastic cosmology. And the key to freeing yourself is getting back to pre-dynastic cosmology, because heliocentrism has been prevalent for a couple of centuries now. And along with this ideology, as I said, comes along with it all of these doomsday prophecies and doomsday ideologies. So you may not be a Christian who believe in the book of Revelation doomsday prophecy, but you may be in the black conscious community or any other conscious community like David Icke, and you may believe in the Nibiru doomsday prophecy. So the whole plan of the doomsday prophecies is to create a scenario that's acceptable to everyone. It's a market scheme. So if you don't accept Christianity, then we can get you in in the spookism conscious community culture. If you don't accept that, if you're African American, they even seeded it in the black conscious community with the Anunnaki and the reptilians and the misrepresentation of the Dogon cosmology. They see this same heliocentric ideology in all of these conscious communities in different scenarios, and we don't see how we're all saying the same thing from the same people who seeded many different lies. So I'm showing you one of them now, which is the Planet X thing and the Zeta Reticuli. All of that was created by Nancy Leader. You can't really argue with what I'm saying. The facts are right in front of your face, people. This is a fact. We just never researched this stuff. So what I want to point out on a metaphysical level about this Nibiru planet is that it really represents the female chromosome. And this is a psychological attack on Mother Nature. The mother role to society or to reality is represented by the X chromosome. And the ancients also revered the X chromosome in the form of the bee goddess. And you can follow up on my Mother Goddess series where I explain the spiritual aspect of all of this flat earth cosmology from our ancestors' matriarchy standpoint. And this is pre-dynastic. This is during the truth before heliocentric viewpoints took over. So understand that Nibiru is a psychological attack, and the metaphysical significance of this whole thing and how they mind screwing us is that Nibiru's orbit is a figure 8, and the figure 8 is nothing but the X chromosome or the hourglass, okay? The X and the 8 is the same symbol when you go and dealing with ancient cosmology, all right? This is what many people don't know. The 8 represents eternity. It represents life, creation. So does the female and the X chromosome. The 8 is nothing but a result is when you take the X and you seal the ends. So when you take that X and you keep stacking it, you create DNA or a bunch of figure 8s. What they're telling you the orbit of Nibiru is, and you got to understand it's called Planet X, and it makes a figure 8 for these reasons that I am telling you right now. People, understand how significant this is. Understand why I'm so passionate telling you this, because this is how deep they play psychological mind warfare with us, people. They make you in fear of Mother Nature when they give you this doomsday prophecy associated with it. And I give you the truth here today, and all you got to do is accept it, brothers and sisters. Now they telling you that this planet is called Planet X. That's the female chromosome, and it makes a figure 8. I've been explaining y'all video after video about this X and the 8 is the same thing. It's the hexagon. It's the Tibetan wheel. Get in the description box. Start the Mother Goddess series along with the Planisphere series and free your mind, humanity. We got to take care of Mother Nature, of Mother Earth, so that she take care of us. It's very deep because it's playing with your spirit. It's playing with the cosmic memory of the soul. Your soul knows of the mother role associated with creation. They use that role and attach fear to it, and the result is a bunch of doomsday prophecies that have many bound today. And again, Brother Sanchez's mission is to free you from that, because I myself was a victim. So let's move on. Understand what I told you earlier. This same idea that was created by Nancy Leader, this idea is somehow surrounded around Hitler in a crazy kind of way, but it makes sense. Because if you think about the swastika is nothing but the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is, again, nothing but the spiral of the female creative energy, the life-bringing energy that the ancestors always spoke of. So the Milky Way that NASA show you is a hoax. The swastika is a representation of that female energy, and the X and the figure 8 is all tied up into the symbol of the swastika. Now, I go into that on plenty videos on this channel. This is deep because it ties into how they use this magic on the soul. Why would this be linked to Hitler? What did he have to do with this? Because the people who still pushing this help push the whole situation and conspiracies that's surrounded by Hitler. And the people in power also are the ones hiding this very cosmology by seeding these doomsday prophecies. People tie the puzzle pieces together. It makes perfect sense. Nancy Leader, David Icke, Planet X, it's a hoax. The same people who seeded these doomsday prophecies that we see in everybody else's theology in different ways support the agenda of evolution, division among humanity. The idea that the creator is stupid and don't exist. The idea that we come from a big bang. Come on, people. The idea that aliens created us. All of this lays the foundation. It makes perfect sense. So when you look at the swastika, all you looking at is what they hiding from you. It's the truth. All right. The mother role to creation is represented in that swastika. Most of your religious people, they worship male deities, but when you go to the higher forms of that religious culture, they worship the mother role. So for example, in Christianity, most people worship Jesus, the male deity. But when you go up to the mother church, or the church that's the headquarters of all the churches in Christianity, which is the Catholic Church, okay, that's the foundation of all Christian churches. They worship Mary the mother, and they also embrace the mother role. Now, thing about that, about the papacy, is that the people who are worshiping Jesus the Father is actually worshiping the Pope, while the Pope hide the cosmology of the mother. So in a lot of pictures, you'll see the Pope worshiping the Madonna and Child. You'll never see that in modern Christian churches in your day-to-day Baptist church, all right? Because when they worshiping the Father in these churches, all of that energy is going to the Pope, while he in secret worships the Madonna. And by doing so, this also hides the true matriarch aspect to humanity's cosmology. It also hides humanity's true origins. So this is very, very deep stuff that we're getting into at this time. And I hope this truth get out there. People, you got to understand something. If your TV is on every day and you plugged into the media hype, they got you living in the past, y'all. Everything on TV is to get you into a programming. Everything you seeing on that screen paints a picture in time that keeps you stuck in an era that your elites have already moved years ahead on. In order for you to get out of their matrix, it's to unplug from their system and be on a quest for knowledge and do diligent research to become close to the creator. So understand that the Antichrist and all of that is never gonna come in the way that the Bible say, and all of that stuff that you're reading about, doomsday, is never gonna happen. It's already here. We're waiting on doomsday to happen. Have you seen the earth lately? We already at war around the world, creating mayhem on the planet. So it's already here. Now, the whole thing that you got to realize from a spiritual standpoint about all of this is that you can be following a false prophet and not even know it. And I just proved that with all of this information. I know a lot of you on the sound of my voice believed in Planet X, believed in the Nibiru. It proves how we can be under false prophets and not even know it. All right. And I was under a false prophet and didn't even know that her name was Nancy Leader. All right. Look at this woman, y'all. Most of you never heard of her. She is the creator of this whole Planet X deception. This is important because in the conscious community, we argue back and forth with each other when we disagree, and we call each other agents when the real deceivers got us all believing in crap, sitting back behind a desk sipping coffee laughing at you. This woman somewhere sitting back listening to us argue back and forth about who's right and wrong, knowing she seeded this crap, and we only having these arguments because we can't prove none of it. We don't have to argue that if there's a sun in the sky because we all looking at the sun. If you got to argue something is already questionable. All we got to do is diligent research and see the real hands behind the scenes misleading all of us, making us argue when they laughing at us, y'all. They got us believing in this crap, and I'm showing you that it's baloney. When I escaped my previous beliefs and came into the conscious community, what I found out is that when you reach the conscious community, they actually make the biggest fool out of you. Because when you get into the conscious community, you go from previous religious beliefs to even more bizarre beliefs. And I'm showing you all of these bizarre beliefs now, people. All of these beliefs put you even further away from the creator. Now, regardless of what your beliefs is, all religions are for morality. They're meant to tell stories to get you to do right. And they're beautiful stories that later became corrupted to serve certain agendas. Therefore, I don't subscribe to any, but I also have respect for all religious people. Now, this is very deep, guys, because all of your world religions are centered around the Pope. He's like the god of all ideology. So understand that there is one man on this planet who is at the spearhead I would say, forefront of what you actually think. Okay, there's a science to seeding ideas in society, and you need to look into sociology also. Everything we accept in these conscious communities, what we fail to realize is that often the ideas come trickling from above, from the Father or the Pope. So there's a link in the description that I got. I don't have time to get into that whole situation on this video about the Pope and everything, but I will be doing a whole video on the Vatican and the papacy and going into all of that. But what you can do is get in the description box and look at the link I got on the Pope. It's from Before It's News. Shout out to beforeitsnews.com. They actually published one of my videos on their website also. So thank you, Before It's News. There's some people out there that's asking these questions to our government. There's a lot of independent websites and stuff out there that's holding them to the test, people. And that's what we all should be doing. They've been proven to be compulsive liars. Shout out to Before It's News for the article they did on the NASA video that I put out that's clearly proof that they never been to the moon. If you want to check that out, get in the description box. We're going to continue moving on. Now we're going to get into what's really going on with this two suns in the sky. Okay, we know it's not Nibiru. We know it's not Planet X. What's really going on with this thing? So the collage you seeing in front of you, we just going to work our way through it. If you look at the one in the top left corner, the green one, you can see where it appears to be two suns, all right? And if you look on the right, the picture that's outlined in red, you can see that it's the same phenomenon, but a different angle here. Now, one would say that two suns is in the sky. We're going to get real deep into this. Now, let's go to the one here on the bottom left corner, outlined in baby blue, and you can see here what appears to be two suns. Something interesting about this one is that the first sun that's in the forefront is very bright, and the one that's kind of shadowed in the back is blurred. I'm going to explain that later. Let's go ahead and hit this last picture on the bottom right. It shows the reflective nature of our sky, and I'm finna get into that deep here as we move on. So we see what we got here in this collage. Basically, it's simple. This is the phenomenon we see. Two suns in the sky. Why is this, people? Now, I'm going to bring up a point that's going to completely annihilate the idea that it's a second sun. All right. Nibiru is said to be a brown dwarf star with a bunch of orbiting bodies around it. Now, a brown dwarf star is not really a hot star, but it's hot, okay? All stars are hot according to NASA's baloney, okay? Now, with that in mind, look at these pictures in front of you and ask yourself this question. If the image you seeing is two suns in the sky, wouldn't the earth burn up? Now, that's a very simple question, people, that if you really think about it, it cancels the idea of a second sun. Think about it, people. They said our sun's so hot, right, that if it was to move, less of a mile close to Earth, we would all burn up and die. This is what NASA say. This is the number according to their numbers, all right? So imagine if you was to introduce a second sun into our sky the way these pictures are. Look at these pictures, guys. The so-called second sun that we're saying is Nibiru, it's the same size as the sun in this bottom right picture on the white. So as the most of them, except the picture in the red, is different sizes, but I'll explain that later. But think about it. According to these two pictures at the bottom, for example, if this was two suns, right, this size, this distance in our sky, wouldn't we feel a change in heat just a little bit? Come on, people, just think with me a little bit. It can't be two suns, people. We would burn up. It's that simple. All I want to do is give you guys the truth. And if you're a real person, you would want the truth. Now, let's keep it moving. And let's talk about this collage right here some more. Lock it in your mind, because now what I'm finna do is flip to some more slides, and we're going to talk about refraction and reflection. And what we're going to do is look at some more two sun pictures, and we're going to look at some refraction and reflection. And listen, you guys can make your own suggestion after that on whether this is another planet or another sun in the sky, or is simply the reflection of the sun. Today, I'm going to prove to you that it is not a second sun you see in this collage, that it's indeed one single sun, and that our sky has reflective properties. Okay, so now let's move on. Let me show you what I mean. Now the collage you're looking at now should really drive this thing home, but we're going to continue. I got a lot of stuff for you guys so I can make sure this thing is completely once and for all solved so that we can move on, because as I say, the truth will set us free. Now, what you're looking at the top right is the pictures that we went over previously. There's no need to go over them again. The purpose of them being there is just so you can get this in your mind, because what happens is if you were born, for example, and no one never told you anything about Nibiru, Planet X, or anything, what have you would have saw if you would have looked up there and saw this phenomenon? See, when you've been told what to see, then you never question it and base your own thought. You never do research. And all it takes is a little research like I'm showing you here today, and you can completely solve these big mysteries that, for some reason drives a whole billion-dollar industry, based on these theories and all of this spookism. So let me stay on subject. The picture in front of you, the one that we want to question, is the one right here on the bottom right, outlined in sky blue. So I'm gonna read the caption. As you see, the pic below went viral on the web and was passed off as two suns Nibiru coming. There's a lot of these pics around. All you got to do is go on Google and put in Nibiru two suns coming, and this is what you will see. Now as we move on, it's gonna get real interesting. So what you're seeing right now, again, like I said, this pic right here went viral. People stare at it a minute. Look at the sun and look at the second sun. We are being told that one of those is our sun and the other one is actually Nibiru. Keep that in mind. That's what we're being told. Now let's skip over here to the left and let's look at this little demonstration I got. It says refraction and reflection. Now the picture you're looking at the top with the light shining through the circle and the light bends at an angle, that's an example of what would be what's called refraction. And the picture at the bottom is a very common phenomenon that we see all around the world with double rainbows and even triple rainbows sometime. And it's not that it's necessarily three different rainbows every time. A lot of this have to do with one rainbow casting its reflection. The sky has a reflective nature, and we're finna get into that in a minute. Let's go back to the picture we see here that they passed off as Nibiru coming. As I said, it can't be Nibiru, as we'll burn up if it's a second sun. Now, look at the light rays that's coming from this so-called second sun. They actually mirror or mimic the light rays from the first sun, proving that it's only the reflection of this sun, people. But what happens is we get so out of control into spookism, it becomes a drug that we want to accept it as Nibiru. We want to accept it as Planet X. So we ignore everything I'm telling you right now. We ignore all of these facts right now, and we say that's Nibiru, that's a second sun, but we still ain't burnt up yet, and it's nice weather outside. But this is what we want to believe, because we like movies, we like Hollywood, we don't do proper research. So as you can see, y'all, we've clearly been bamboozled. Now once again, it's a good feeling to know the truth. It's a good feeling to let go of the spookism, and the good thing about it is plain and simple. What I'm showing you, you can go show somebody. But if you're gonna get up here and talk all of this bull crap what Neil deGrasse Tyson talking, then you got to go pay big money and go to big time schools to get miseducated and learn dumb crap that's only theoretical. You can't prove it, but I bet you Neil deGrasse Tyson can't argue what Brother Sanchez showing you right now. He know he can't. I got some knowledge for him. Tell him he's been bamboozled. Give his degree back. Stop being a sellout. What is reflection? We all experience reflection. We see it. We know the nature of how it works. So, but just a quick definition, reflection is the change in direction of a wavefront at an interface between two different media so that the wavefront returns into the medium from which it originated. Very simple, all right? Now, refraction is the change in direction of propagation of a wave due to a change in its transmission medium. Another way to look at refraction is when the wave's phase velocity is altered, usually causing a change in direction. refraction. So to make it all simple for you, because it's not that complicated, guys, refraction is another form of reflection and vice versa. Just look at it that way. And reflection is when we double it up and mirror itself. And refraction is actually when we don't get doubles, but we get the same image bent or distorted at an angle based on a reflective atmosphere or reflective medium. All right. So how that would work is, to make it simple, what you're looking at is a reflection of Mount Hood in Mirror Lake, Oregon. And this is a very common phenomenon. No need to explain this. Just to make this stuff simple, we want to get this in our head and get our minds familiar with it as we move on. See, a lot of this research is really questioning your reality. So we see this all the time, this reflective nature upon the water and everything. Now, what you're looking at now with this glass of water would be an example of refraction. So you see, you don't get a mirrored image. There's no duplicate. It's the same striped wall in the background, but as we look at it through this medium, all right, what would be the medium? The water would be the medium. As we look at this striped wall through this water, as you can see, the water magnifies it to a point that we see that the water is magnifying the image. And as the image is being magnified through the water, or the medium, which would be the water, the glass, okay, actually curves the image. So what you're looking at in a glass of water is very simple. Just take that glass and stretch it all the way out. If you was looking at that wall through a fish tank, you would begin to see those stripes straighten back out, because they appearing curved through the glass, because the glass is curved and the water is actually magnifying the stripes while the glass is curving the image. So you get this effect, and this would be a good example of refraction. Now, this picture here is another picture of reflection. Got a beautiful rainbow, nice background. Now, who wouldn't want to be in this setting? When I see pictures like this and you think about the creator, you get warm-hearted. You know, this ancient cosmology has brought me to a relationship with the creator that I just can't explain, y'all. Mother Nature is awesome. The Most High Creator is awesome. The key is to have a respect for mother, to have a respect for Mother Nature. But to stay on subject, this picture is just another example of reflection. And again, it's very simple. We see this all the time, all right? A mirrored image. You get double images again when we deal with reflection. Now, this is another example of refraction. If you look inside of those raindrops, you would see that that ladder in the background is actually a straight ladder, okay? It's not bent. But if we look at it through these little water driplets, again, the water is magnifying the image, and the shape of the driplet actually is bending the image to that shape. So you get this little bubbled, magnified effect as we look at it through a medium. This medium would be water in this case. And again, this is an example of refraction. So this next image is a great example of reflection. This is what's called double reflection. As you can see, the sun is reflecting onto the lake, and there's a paddle at the bottom of the picture where you can actually see the reflection of the sun in the sky and the sun's reflection on the lake in the paddle. Kind of weird, all right? You got the sun reflection on the lake, and you got all of that reflected, both of those reflections on the paddle. So it's not that it's four suns and there's a sun on the paddle and there's a sun that exists inside of the lake, people. It's called reflection, people. But if you don't know this and you want to believe the propaganda, your wicked government is going to give you what you crave for, and they're going to capitalize off that ignorance. So Brother Sanchez is here to wake us up. We've been divided and conquered as humanity, and Mother Nature is being destroyed while we bicker about petty stuff. We got to leave this place behind for our children, y'all. Now let's move on. This picture right here is just another example of reflection. Now this is where it gets real deep. This is from rock group called Pink Floyd. I'm very familiar with classic rock. I did a little vinyl collecting at my time. As you know, I produce music. So a lot of this vinyl art that we see from the rock artists is very, very revealing. One thing I want you guys to be on the lookout for is a future video where I'm going to be breaking down rock albums art. I'm going to be going into all your favorite rock bands, and we're going to be going over all of this album artwork, and I'm going to be showing y'all that most of your favorite rock bands knew exactly the nature of their cosmology, okay? They tried to tell it to us through the art. Michael Jackson did as well. I'm going to throw him in there. Michael Jackson actually knew the earth was flat, people, and I will be proving that, all right? Stay tuned for Michael Jackson lectures. Stay tuned for Decoding Rock album art lectures. But what we're going to point out about this Pink Floyd picture in front of you is an example again of refraction, simply called refraction. What is Pink Floyd telling you in this picture? What did Pink Floyd know? Why did they make their album cover this way? I can only give you my humble belief, and I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I do extensive research. To me, it appears that if NASA tells us that the sunlight shines on the moon and that the moon actually reflects the light of the sun, if you look at this picture and this artwork from Pink Floyd, I think what they're trying to say is exactly, we can take this literally. We should kind of see this phenomena with the moon, if you ask me. Now, I haven't researched this. I'm just making a suggestion here, and my physics may not be all the way right, so don't take me to the bank on it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just guessing what I'm thinking they meant by this. If the moon was some type of medium, all right, a solid object wouldn't be a valid medium. Water would be an excellent medium. But in the moon's case, NASA says that the moon is solid. I believe the moon is really holographic, and the next videos I'm going to be putting out is going to make us question exactly what the moon is, people. Now, I really got off subject here with this Pink Floyd picture. I really used it to show an example of refraction, but I really think Pink Floyd was telling us a message here. This gets interesting when we look at a lot of rock groups, especially like the Gap Band and everything like that, even the Temptations and Santana and stuff like that. So we're going to move on. Refraction from your group Pink Floyd, all right? A great example, a simple one, Dark Side of the Moon. I got lectures coming out about the Dark Side of the Moon. That's a lot we need to learn about the whole Dark Side of the Moon agenda. So Pink Floyd was telling us a lot with this album artwork. The picture that you saw is actually a common scientific example when we talk about refraction, and you will see it as you see in this picture in front of you. So just to show you that your rock groups chose certain images and things for a reason, where most of the time we think it was just beautiful art and it's great decoration. Everything tells a story, all right? And they're not just putting refraction on their artwork. Now, this picture it's just a simple example of reflection that we see in our reality. Refraction, just like we saw with the Pink Floyd and everything else, this is what you're looking at, another example of refraction. And moving on, and that pretty much wraps up the refraction and reflection examples. That pretty much get our minds an example of what we're dealing with when we talk about refraction and reflection. It kind of gives us a basis to distinguish the two as we skip back to these two sun pictures. Now, stay with me. Now that we got that in our head about reflection and refraction, let's finish up our two sun collages. Now, as we look at this video clip that was posted by Now 8 News, as you can see all of the information below, this thing went off on YouTube, 38,000 views, okay? Scientists discover second sun approaching Earth. I told you guys, if there were two suns in the sky, we would be burnt to a crisp according to the numbers and science NASA give us. We've already proven that's no way that can be a second sun or any type of second celestial object, people. Look at the size of it, all right? If that were a real solid object we're seeing on those clouds, that would be very close if you look at the size in relation to the sun over here on the right, people. Come on, people. Free your mind. Don't accept all of this foolishness and baloney. Look at this slide in front of you, people, and think about what we looked at with the reflection and refraction. This what you're looking at, if you ask me, would be an example of reflection. Now, you can get in the comment box and we can go over whether it's reflection or refraction. Look at this picture from Getty Images. Look at this is a perfect picture again of reflection. You see how the rainbow is doubled? Now, that's the same rainbow you see. It's another form of the same rainbow. This is an example of reflection. The sky has a reflective nature, people. And depending on where you're standing at certain areas of the sky, and when you add in the chemical makeup of the sky, you get this type of phenomenon in our reality. Now, we're going to get into it deeper. But again, the sky has holographic and reflective natures. That's the reason you can even see a rainbow in the sky. It's projecting itself upon a medium. See, the whole illusion of space is what's throwing throwing y'all off. You think because you look up at the sky and it's so-called space in between you and the clouds that nothing is there. It's reflective particles there in our atmosphere. Our atmosphere is more than what we've been told, okay? Think of a projector. Think of how we can project images upon a blank white screen with a projector. And look at this picture you looking at with this rainbow. What I want to do is compare this picture right here to this footage again. Now we looking at this footage. This is the same phenomena that we just looked at with the rainbows, people. Now I'm gonna let you look at this for yourself and draw your own conclusions. I really don't believe, y'all, that it's a second sun. That is really bizarre if you think about it. And guess what? You got to understand how old this lie is. All this history repeats itself. These lies die out and they come back throughout different generations over time. In today's generation, a lot of this stuff repurposed as a result of capitalistic means. And I'm going to prove to you what I mean by that, because your news and your government is promoting the crap out of this Planet X Nibiru stuff. And we know whatever they promoting isn't good. We know it's some money involved or something they can benefit from it, from you believing it. So all that means is, okay, if they're promoting it, let me research it and see what's going on here. I'm skeptical about it if they believe it. So that's how it go, brothers and sisters. Now, this footage right here is exactly what we saw with the rainbows. It's simply reflection. What you're looking at on the right, the bright sun, as it makes its circuit moving forward, meaning straight ahead from our sight, and as it moves, the reflection of it is casted upon the clouds, upon this medium. So it's not a second sun. That's the same sun casting its reflection on those clouds. And I just showed you how that worked with the rainbows. So now that we saw this footage, we're going to keep moving on so we can go ahead and get this illusion out of our mind that it's a second sun out there, all right? If there were a second sun that we're seeing in this picture, why don't we see it every day? Where does it go and hide? Why is it consistent like the sun we do see every day? That sun is consistent. We don't have to question it. What's up with this mysterious second sun that pops up here and there? It's all in your mind, people. We're being bamboozled. It's simply reflection. Let's move on. So let me go ahead and completely wash this foolishness out of y'all minds. Look at the picture in front of you again. If you look up those railroad tracks, it's clearly the same sun reflecting itself upon the medium. It's simply reflection, people. Okay, there's one sun and the other one that you see in the front is reflection. And now that we got this reflection and refraction examples locked in our head, we can understand that this phenomena is very simple. If we say that's a second sun and I ask you, why didn't the heat level rise 1 degree since this sun supposedly entered, and you have nothing to say, that leaves so many questions. If this thing got all of these planets orbited, we haven't got no debris from it yet. We haven't felt any turbulence from its pull or nothing like that. The weather is just peaceful, y'all. It don't make no sense. There's a lot of gaps, a lot of holes if we accept that this is a second sun. If you look at this picture, it's very plain and simple. That's what Brother Sanchez delivered to the people. Plain and simple information that you can go and explain for yourself, whereas the illusion that most of people want to get you tangled up in is this deep crap. All of this spookism, y'all. This has a lot to do with our human origins, believing in Planet X. Because once we accept that, then they get us to accept all other kind of crap, like we come from all of these creatures and aliens. So let's move on with this, okay? So what we just saw is an example of reflection. Now, what we're looking at is very interesting now, because what you're looking at the top is another example of reflection and refraction, if you ask me. And it also proves that we enclosed in the firmament dome as spoken of by the ancestors. Not going to get into that in this video. I do have future videos coming out all on the firmament alone. Look at the picture at the top, okay? Should we say, man, we got 3 suns in the sky? 3 Nibirus on the way. They coming. No, it's not 3 suns, people. It's simply refraction and reflection. So how is it reflection? Because the one sun in the middle is reflecting itself on on the left and the right side. How is it refraction? Because the light bends as it curves and fits the shape of its container, which is the dome. See, that's the secret. How can we prove our ancestors was right about the firmament dome? Because light reveals the shape of its container, and this light is clearly bent just like a rainbow would be. All right, so we are enclosed in a spherical dome, and if you don't notice, it leaves a lot of questions, and it leaves you accepting a lot of spooky theories like Nibiru and other crap that they capitalize off in the fear markets and the doomsday groups that we see online and everything. So we got to wake up and free the minds of the youth. This is very detrimental to the psyche. Again, this top picture really reveals it and debunks the whole myth of Planet X, because we clearly know this is not three suns in the sky. Now at the bottom, what we got is again another example of reflection. You got two suns. You know why I think a lot of these people like two suns? Because they like 2 Chainz, two suns. So for y'all people that like this picture on the bottom and you want to accept that that's a second sun, two suns, we're going to move on. You know I had to lighten you up a little bit. Now, again, it's the same picture we saw earlier in the collage. It's just an example of reflection. The little blue dot you see up there is not a third sun, y'all. If you look to the very right of the photo, you can see that that same little blue dot is reflecting itself on the side too of the picture. So again, this whole picture proves reflection. It's not a second sun. It's not Nibiru. It's easy to accept that because you want to accept it. You want to believe this. You already accept it with the ideology. You don't understand that's part of your psyche. So once you accept it and you see this picture, it's simply reflection. Your mind says Nibiru, but it never questions. It never asks the questions that I'm asking in this video. It never presents the stuff that I'm presenting here. And once you present it with the facts, you can no longer go back to the baloney. All right, now let's move on. This is where it gets real interesting and a bit humorous too. But now it gets real deep here because, as I said, they capitalize off this hype and propaganda, y'all. It's a lot of doomsday ideologies that are prevalent, and a lot of people getting rich off messing people's psyche up, if you ask me. It really destroys people. It creates psychological disorders. It creates narcissism. It creates all type of beliefs in society where certain group of people feel that they are more special than others. It seeds all of the division that we see today. And I don't care who don't like what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. I come a long way and a long journey of research to reach these conclusions. So I'm going to be getting into a lot of controversial topics in the future on this channel. Stay tuned for that. We're going to stay on subject here. The picture in front of you is from ChinaNews.com. Again, it's an example of reflection. So the object in the background appears to be a big celestial object behind the moon here. We know that that's just an outline, a reflection. So we know that there's not a huge planet back there, y'all. We would be dead according to the physics that NASA say. All right, get real, people. Free your mind. If you want to see that as a big planet up there, people, you're really fooling yourself. That is the moon casting its reflection. And you can actually see that it's a triple reflection because you got the moon, then you got a little bitty halo, then a big one around it. So this thing is reflecting upwards, casting its reflection. Now, the China News put this out on the news again as Nibiru. So we're being deceived if the news propaganda is pushing this agenda all around the world. Not just China News, but our government too. So why do they want us believe in all of this doomsday stuff? It's an agenda behind this, y'all. And I'm telling you how deep it is now. This is the revolution. It's unplugging from all of this crap, y'all. You cannot defeat this machine until you snatch the plug on it. Stay out of their theaters looking at all of these dumb lies, talking about some outer space and gravity. That's bull crap. There is a most high creator in control. Now, you can accept this beast's lies if you want to. Many of you know you're being deceived, but you're so in too deep and your ego won't let you accept the truth. But we're going to move on. This is a lovely group. I'm so honored to have y'all as an audience, all right? I love the comments I get from y'all. Now, let's move on. Let's look at some more of this baloney. Now, check this crap out. Now 8 News, second sun over Canada. It's really hilarious because I just told y'all And matter of fact, this second sun over Canada, this the footage that we just looked at. So this actually made the news. This the same footage, ladies and gentlemen, that we was just looking at. But anyway, you see how they promoting this agenda, y'all. They know darn well that ain't no second sun. If I'm smart enough as just simple brother Sanchez to make the simple question and say, hey, if that's a second sun, why we ain't burnt the heck up yet? Don't you think they smart enough to make the same question and speculation, people? They got the world's top scientists. You think brother Sanchez smarter than these people? These people millionaires and billionaires off us believing these agendas, y'all. I'm trying to free your mind because they get rich off of it, and all we do is be left with stupid questions and theories and all of these dumb ideas that keeps us steady questioning, and we end up making conclusions like the earth is cursed and planet X and creator, we're trapped in a dome. If you look at some of these YouTube channels, it's just pitiful, the type fear and stuff that people putting out there, seeing into these children's minds. It's blasphemous against the creator. It's your perception that's doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Stay away from these people telling you the earth is a curse and that your body is a curse. That's damaging to your psyche. Now look at this Channel 8 news picture, how they promoting this crap, y'all. They want us in this downbeaten state, always believing that something gonna happen to the earth. Any minute, this second sun gonna crash into the earth. Go prepare what you're gonna do. You can't control it if it is true, but I'm showing you that it's baloney. It's simply reflection, and it's sad because think about it, y'all. This is a news channel, man. This is our news right here. Breaking news. Second sun over Canada. These people know that ain't nothing but reflection and put it out here to the public talking about second sun because they know we so dumbed down. And they up in there drinking coffee laughing while y'all out there talking about it's a second sun in the sky. And they up there saying, wow, we ain't burnt up yet. We already got them thinking they moving 1,000 miles per hour. They just playing with our minds, y'all. And it sucks that it's only a few channels out on YouTube that's dealing with this type of stuff. So salute to all of you guys, all of my truthers out there. We ain't supporting nothing that the government say. Now let's move on. Again, another bogus news channel in China promoting this second sun crap, but yet it's cold outside some days when we see these pictures. If it's a second sun, why the oceans ain't boiling? You conspiracy theorists and fear-mongering people out there like these famous people making all this money off seeding this fear, they got a lot of explaining to do. They don't want to come to Bro Sanchez channel, y'all. Make sure y'all record these videos, share them everywhere, put them out there. Picture we see right here from live top news or some bogus station, two suns in the sky. Now again, these people know that this is reflection, people. You see how they insult us? You see the crap they get us to believe, and we go knock down the theater doors to go see the new movies about the earth collision and the destruction of earth, and we wonder why these doomsday movies make so much money. They seeding the hype through the media. They all in the bed together. People is one big matrix. NASA, Hollywood, the government, your science classes and academics, your churches, your conscious communities. People, this disease has spread. It is only a few people out here pushing the truth. It's only a few people out here doing it. All right. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people ain't going to like what I'm going to say right now. Anybody out there still pushing the globe is really just a sincere person who don't have the knowledge I'm giving y'all, or they're an agent. It's starting to be very clear who's who as we move on and this knowledge come to light. So again, as you see in this picture, it's simply reflection, but our higher ups want to play with our minds and insult us and pass it off like two suns in the sky when the weather hasn't changed a bit. And in this picture, you can clearly see that there's a reflection of the sun in front of it. Look at the light rays. They are identical. If that was another different sun, why would they both appear 100% identical? Look at the light rays on it. That's clearly reflection. That ain't no doggone two suns. I'm tired of us being bamboozled, people. So again, this is a good picture, and this is a beautiful picture, because people, this phenomenon is very beautiful if you ask me. It shows the reflective nature of our sky. That's all. It just shows you the beauty, how magical the earth is. It shows you, y'all, that there's a lot of physics and science to this planet that's been hidden from us, and our children can be making great inventions based on the facts as opposed to the dumb theories NASA teaching them. So if we get all of these facts, we can really understand the true nature of reality and what exactly is this earth. What are we, y'all? Because the sky is clearly reflective in nature. Look at this picture. This is nothing but reflection. If you think that's another sun, you're bamboozled. You're full of baloney. All right. So again, this is from News Watch 33, and that's very deep because you got the number 33, and we all know about the 33rd degree. Why 33? All right, we'll go with it anyway. But anyway, again, that's simply reflection, people. Don't be bamboozled. That ain't no second sun. And last but not least, if this one don't drive it home, I don't know what will. I'm gonna show y'all how the government play with our mind. What you see at the top is a picture that was presented to the world by NASA. And it was a picture that they gave us of Mars. This was submitted by NASA. It has these two suns in it. As we look at this picture, we can clearly see that, yes, it's the same picture that they gave us in 1977 for the movie Star Wars. Now, I don't know exactly what scene that is where Luke Skywalker walking. I forgot the name of that exact planet. But if you look at the sun in the background on that Star Wars movie at the bottom and look at the picture that NASA gave us from these two suns from Mars in 2012, it's clearly the exact same picture. They do this sometime because they get lazy. Now, before I jump to that conclusion and make it 100%, I'm going to say that that's about 75%. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because it can be Photoshop, but the link is in the description to this actual picture. A guy actually who debunked this whole thing, and you can look into it and see if it's Photoshop or whatever. But if you ask me, I believe that they copied and pasted this picture and used it for these two different movies, y'all, because they getting lazy. They know they can give us baloney because y'all ain't gonna fry it up like Brother Sanchez doing. So this picture is a bunch of crap right here, man. They copying and pasting stuff, getting lazy on us now. So again, we've been bamboozled, and this picture might not be 100% true, but we know they do this type of stuff. I believe it's true. Hey, get in the description link and check out all of these links so you can continue to verify and back up everything that I've shown you here. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I just want y'all to think about everything I showed you here today. It's clear that there is no second sun in the sky. Where is it? Okay, when I wake up in the morning and the sun set, I'm gonna be looking for it. It's sure not consistent. Where is it? All right, the weather should be changing. Stuff should be changing. Think about the stuff I'm telling you here today. Nibiru Planet X is a deception. Again, it is an attack on Mother Nature and on a divine feminine. So get in the comment box. There's a lot of description links that you're going to need to see to free your mind. Think about Nancy Leader. Think about how all of this crap got seeded into the minds of society. And look at this bogus picture that they're using to support Zeta Reticuli. Another NASA drawing, people. We got to get out of La La Land. Okay, there is no Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There is no Santa at the North Pole. There's nothing but a bunch of militaries hiding the creator from you. So people, at this time, what do I suggest? That we unplug from media fear, get to the nearest Truthers YouTube channel and get this knowledge in you, because I'm going to tell you something. Knowledge is power and the truth will set you free. My life has changed a lot, people, and my spirit is up. I'm always in good spirit. I get low because I go through stuff. There's balance. Now, nobody's happy all the time. Get real. What I'm saying is, it's neutral. Nothing just don't really just get me too beat down, you know. I can respect simple things in nature. I can respect my fellow brother, and I got love for all right? I know it sound corny. I know it sound cliche because we've been so programmed with hate, but y'all, we got to get back to our responsibility as human beings. We got a role to play in nature, and it starts with the mind. It starts with the perception, and that's what I'm doing on this channel. I'm getting into our psyches, challenging what we've been given about our reality, and I'm undoing a lot of the baloney. All right, I got my skillet, and I'm going to fry it up every video. So if you stay in tune with me, we're going to grow together, and I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. And with everything being said, I'm going to let you all go here today. Follow me on Twitter. Join us on the Facebook group, Knowledge is Power. And thanks everyone for supporting the channel. Any donations or contributions that you make to the channel, it really helps us a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be lying if I said that it don't. So I really appreciate you guys. Just want to say that to each and every last one of you under the sound of my voice. Peace and much love.